Sis, it is not too late. I know it feels like 2024 is slipping away, but I promise you over the next 3 months, this last quarter of 2024, we are going to do a reset. And we are going to take charge of what we can do for the next 3 months. And I'm going to show you step by step today on how I use a planner to plan my day. We're going to walk through the planner I use and what that looks like, what you need to do to get your mind right as far as finishing strong, how to avoid the pitfalls of the holidays, gaining weight, getting overwhelmed, and all of those things. And I promise you, tip number 3 potentially could be life-changing. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to set achievable but realistic goals. Look, if your goal at the beginning of the year was to lose 35 pounds, you don't have the time to do that. So you need to set a goal that's going to push you and be ambitious, but you also want to set a goal that's going to be realistic. But don't cheat. Don't pick a goal that's going to be like, okay, you knocked that out because it was so easy. So say for example, I'm going to use my YouTube channel as an example. So this is my passion project, and I have a video coming about why every woman over 40 should have a passion project. But my goal when I set out to do this channel in March was I wanted to get 500 subscribers before the end of the year. And so luckily, thanks to you all, I have reached that goal. But my point is that has to be broken down to achievable steps. My thing was, I'm going to do this and I'm going to spend the first 90 days focused. And my goal is to get to 100 subscribers. If I get to 100 subscribers after the first 90 days, this is something I'm going to continue to pursue. That was a realistic goal, but a stretch goal, because if you've ever done YouTube, you know it is not easy to get to 100 subscribers. And so what I want you to do is I want you to put yourself in a place that allows you to think clearly, whether that is in your office space, whether that is you get in the car and you take a drive. I don't know, it's just something about taking a drive that can clear your mind. Whether it is you going to your favorite restaurant and sitting down and just being by yourself, I want you to think about no more than 2 to 3 achievable, realistic goals. And I want you to structure them like this. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to have milestones. So if your milestones for me would have been, okay, I want to get to 100 subscribers. Maybe milestone 1 would have been when I get to 25. Maybe milestone 2 would have been 50. Milestone 3 would have been 75. Set yourself up with some milestones so that you have some celebratory achievement along the way to getting to the goal. Because a lot of times we set goals and here's day 1, here's the goal, and we don't celebrate till we get to the goal. So the first thing I want you to do is set a realistic goal, but I want you to have benchmarks, milestones along the way. I want you to write down, jot down, wherever it is, something that you're going to do to celebrate when you achieve the goal. So not the milestones along the way, you can give yourself a little trinket, but what are you going to do when you actually achieve the goal that gives you something to look forward to, something that you can visually celebrate. Can't just be, I'm going to give myself a high five, or I'm going to feel good about it. It's something that you can actually even tangibly tell people, oh, when I get to X, Y, and Z, I'm going to do this. So I told myself when I got to 500 subscribers, I was going to get a cake and I was going to get some candles with 500, but miraculously, like I got to 500, I got to 1,000, I got to 1,500, and all this has happened so quickly that I haven't even had a chance to do it. So I will be doing that soon, but you have to pick something that you're going to be able to celebrate. Okay, my lovelies, I'm going to show you the planner that I use. I use the Full Focus Planner, and this is actually the new edition of the Wellness Planner, but I'm going to make a video about this later. First thing I want you to do is grab your calendar for the week. As you can see, mine's in Google. And what I really love about this particular planner, and even the non-wellness version of the planner, is it starts off by having a weekly preview. So what that does is it makes you go back over the course of the previous week and really just map out the 3 to 5 things that you were happy that you were able to accomplish. The next component of the weekly preview, which is awesome and gets your mind ready for the week, is it breaks down basically how you're going to spend this week, focusing on your wellness, on your goals, on your health, on various components. And that's a new piece to it. Specifically talks about goals and productivity, rest, movement, nutrition, connection, and relaxation. Then towards the bottom here, it asks you about how you're going to increase your joy, manage your stress, and is there anything you need to talk out. Over here, this is literally my favorite part, and in my old planner, they took this away, but they put it back for this version of the planner, is you're basically seeing me list out all of the things I have to do that are personal and for work, so that I'm able to go back and take all of these items that I've mapped out and specifically make sure that I schedule these into the week. Like, the point of you making a to-do list is to actually make sure the things that you've identified get done. This portion right here breaks it down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And what I do here is just map out my workouts. And this is the most important part. This is identifying the big three, the main three goals that you want to accomplish this week. You can get a lot done, but the focus is to identify the big three. And these big three should be tied to your quarterly goals that I talked about in the beginning of the video, identifying those 2 to 3 things, and each week you should be mapping out the big three that support those 2 to 3 things. So as far as what my day-to-day planning looks like, here you can see me mapping out what are the top 3 things I need to get done in the day. And of course, guess what? These correlate to the big three that I identified for the week. From there, what I do is I pretty much map out the components that I need to do as far as all of the to-dos for the day. And here, this is next level, so don't get intimidated, but I time block. So what I do is I put on a post-it all of the things that I'm going to do all day. So from 5 to 6, from 6 to 7, from 7 to 8, from 8 to 9, and that's what you see me doing. And I go back and I look at the things that were to-dos, and I make sure that sometime during the day, these things that I identified as to-dos are actually scheduled out on this document somewhere, on this paper, on this post-it. I don't want to be making to-do lists. I don't want to be making things to do, and I don't actually get it done. But don't worry, I know I went quick. I'm going to be doing a whole series on using a planner. Okay, second thing I want you to think about if you need to do is refresh, reset. When I say refresh, reset, I mean refresh, reset. Sometimes you just gotta reset, and I mean you've gotta reset everything. You have to reset your environment. You have to reset even maybe how you look. Like, I love a good fall reset because I love a good change of decor in my house. I love a good change of my nail color. I recently went and got my hair done, and I got like a little undertones of caramel highlights. Like, sometimes you just need that hard reset. And I'm not one that likes to throw money at problems to make myself feel better, but sometimes you just gotta get your hair done. Sometimes you gotta get your nails done. You gotta get all of it done and go get you an outfit and be like, okay, I know who I am, and get reset. And like I said, that also includes your environment. So whether it's changing your decor, like I change out my dining room decor, my inside decor, changing the candles, changing the scents in your house, whatever you need to do to kind of have that, where you feel that physical reset that you need to motivate you, go ahead and do it. Okay, and this is the one I said I think will be life-changing if you're able to receive it, especially if you're someone that loves a good planner. Not everything in your brain is a to-do. Say it with me. Not everything in your brain is a to-do. Not everything in your brain needs to be written down as a to-do or typed into your app on your phone and assigned a checkbox. There are some things that are simply things that we're doing, and they don't need to make your list. The next one is, do not let a bad day turn into a rut. Because a bad day turns into 2 bad days, and it turns into 3 bad days, then it turns into a week, then it turns into a month. I have a rule, and I think I've said this before, anything more than 3 days is becoming a rut. So if you have a consistent routine or consistent thing that you do and you're letting it go more than 3 days without doing it, you are in the beginning of a rut. And look, you can have bad moments, but you can't stay in a rut. You have to be able to push outside of your comfort zone. You have to be able to dig deep. You have to be able to pull out the discipline that's necessary to not allow these last 3 months to become a rut. Because let me tell you what happens. A lot of people use the last quarter of the year as, hey, I didn't hit my goals. I didn't even come close to them. I didn't get started. I'll just wait till January. Well, when you wait till January, January is coming whether you do what you need to do or not. I want you to stop and think about whatever your goals are. If you were to pour yourself into those goals between now and January, even if you can't hit the whole goal, how much better off you'd be than if you would wait till January. I want you to also think especially about your health, weight loss. Think about how much weight you can gain between October and January if you don't stop and do something. Think about how much you could lose. Even if you maintain by incorporating something healthy or making choices, just think about how better it would be if you just keep going and not actually trying to strive for your goals. So don't let a rut happen. Do not let that trap of the time before Thanksgiving all the way to New Year's Eve be that rut that gets you totally off your guard. Because you gonna start good with the momentum of October, but do not let that November rut catch up with you. Every no is a yes to something else, and every yes is a no to something else. Let me repeat. Every no is a yes to something else, and every yes is a no to something else. So you've got to make your decisions according to what's best for you to finish these last 3 months off strong. You should tell yourself every time you say no to doing the things that you know that you're doing, you're saying yes to further away from your goals. You should know that every time you say yes to doing what you're supposed to do, you're getting closer to your goals. So you have to be thinking about that question every time you're at the crossroads of making a decision one way or the other about what you're going to do with your time, your energy, your money, your resources. Sometimes you can say no and you really should say yes, and it's okay. But when the pattern is I say no, like when you say no to getting up and working out, you're saying yes to, at the moment, I want to be unhealthy. When you are saying, no, I'm not going to spend time with my kids, even though I promised to do that, you're saying yes to potentially not having the best relationships. When you're saying no to, I'm going to not do the things that I'm passionate about because I got to take care of everybody else and not pour that time to me, you're saying yes to being unfulfilled and unhappy. So it's about balance. It's about finding that balance between being the person that you were called to being in the way God created you and being the person that is who you are and who is probably responsible for people and responsible for a career and finding that happy medium. And with your no's, do not have excuses, because what happens is we make excuse after excuse after excuse. And this is one of my favorite quotes I've ever heard. If you have a problem that money can fix, you don't have a problem. And the reason I like that quote is because outside of illness and sickness, which money can't fix, and death and grief, which money can't fix, you really don't have a problem. I mean, even if you don't have the money, if money can fix the problem, it's really not as big as a problem as you think it is. I tell my husband this all the time. I was like, okay, could money fix it? Well, then it's not really a problem. I don't want no problems that money can't fix. And I don't think you do either. Think about it. But what I want you to do for the next 3 months is create one micro habit that you can do that's going to help jumpstart your routine and the things that you need. I don't want this micro habit or this goal to be something major. I do not want your micro habit to be like, I'm going to get up and run 5 days a week. I do not want your micro habit to be like, I'm going to eat vegan for the rest of the year. I do not want your micro habit to be, I am going to write 12 chapters of a book before the end of the year. I want your micro habit to be a micro habit. So if it's, I want to journal, then the micro habit is I get my journal out every day. If it is, I want to eat clean, I don't eat a bad breakfast. If it is, I want to run, I don't miss a Saturday morning for running. Like, I need it to be micro, y'all. Like, don't get ambitious on me here for this habit. I need it to be something that you can sustain, because I need you to be able to hit those goals that we talked about earlier. If it's working out, lay out your workout clothes. Like, make it small. So if you need more help, I'm going to be doing a series on a planner. I know I gave you a pretty in-depth sneak peek about setting up this planner and how I use it, but I'm going to be doing how to use a planner to be more productive. If you would like to see that, or you have other ideas you would like to see specifically with planning, time blocking, leave a comment down below, because I'm looking for ideas for kind of a new series on planning. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I am hoping that you are going to reset with me and that you are going to make this last 3 months of 2024 the most amazing part of the year. You have so much in front of you, and I know that you're going to be doing awesome. I'm going to keep you up to date on my progress and the goals that you saw me write, and we are going to be celebrating towards the end of December because we hit our goals. I will see you all next time.